talking franchises here, bud.
All right, it's still the time to be watching spooky stuff. It's late October. You feel that chill in the air. I mean, I don't. I'm in fucking Las Vegas, but you probably do. You probably feel that chill in the air, getting excited. Everywhere you look, shit is orange and black. You're like, that's a weird color combination, but I'll allow it. It's the spookiest season and the spookiest color combination. All right. I'm Daniel Ehrenberg. I'm the host of the franchise, which is an audio podcast, because I'm almost 40, and apparently 40-year-olds, we still like this kind of shit. But it would be a better show if it was about 108 seconds of us being fucking morons. All right? Let's bring in Logan, who'd prefer the show was that.
You don't even understand. That's not at all. What I want is for video to be on. We would talk normally the way we talk to each other, except for the fact that there's video and I can then turn it into clips for people to then view with their eyeballs. That's the only difference. It would be us talking. Because listen, I listened back to the episode and I'm like, wow, this could be a clip that could go on the internet and people could watch and be like, oh, this is fascinating, or this is funny, or I've never thought about this, or this is stupid, this is great. But instead of being able to do that, I just sit there and listen back and I'm like, oh.
Why don't you just do it with the audio?
What do I do? What do I do with that?
I don't know, like edit some shit together, some clips of stuff that we're talking about.
Nobody gives a shit. I got news for you. No one's gonna like be walking, like scrolling past and be like, "Oh, a clip from Evil Dead Rise. Let me listen to this." But if it's a clip of two people talking,
I'd argue that no one would give a shit about that either.
Well, you're wrong, but okay.
Some fucking 40-year-old talking to his 20-year-old friend from Alabama who he's never met before. That's a great YouTube clip. I'll be revisiting for all of eternity.
All right.
All right. That's right. I'm going to be a force of darkness on this show from here on out. Let's bring it. Insidious chapter 2 and 3 today. These movies were both bad. I got all excited. The first Insidious was great. New, exciting horror franchise for me to latch on to and obsess over. Great. No. It's the first one was good, but the rest of them suck. But we'll talk about why they suck and how they suck.
I'll tell you why they suck.
Myriad reasons they suck.
What is this, a book?
Yeah, well, I knew that would throw you off, Logan, having never read a book.
Mm-hmm. And Quinn, they even say like she's into books. That's like a part of her character. Hate that.
Yeah, we see her reading A Clockwork Orange at one point.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, I spent the whole time trying to like clock the year.
Well, they say it's like a few years prior.
I was looking for hints. You know?
She has like an old-timey cell phone.
Yeah, I noticed that. There was a PJ Harvey poster on her wall, though, for Her, which came out in 2004. So I knew it was at least 2004.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
She had a Pixie shirt on.
Yeah, but that could be anything. Could be
Can I
the
tell you
80s.
something about the Pixies? Because James Wan, you've seen Malignant, right?
Yeah, and he said the word malignant in Insidious 3.
No,
he loves that word.
When did that happen?
I'll have you know that it happened twice. They flashed back to the moment he said it. Yeah.
He said it and then they did a flashback?
Yeah, to the moment he said it.
That's crazy. But
there's some sort of malignant force here. Yeah, that kind of thing.
That's awesome. But this is all Lee. That was all Lee, not James. But anyway, in Malignant, they use Where's My Mind? That's like a part of the score. And here,
yeah, I didn't know it.
Foundation.
It was. You can't use Where's My Mind in a movie. Fight Club did it.
So what?
It's been done. You can't do it. I mean, it was already like when The Leftovers came out. They used Where's My Mind as like a piano cue, just like a piano version of it. And already I was like, I don't know, guys. And then I saw Malignant. And I was like, really? Use another fucking Pixies song if you like the Pixies so much.
It's fair. I won't fight you on that.
Thank you. All right, let's talk about Insidious Chapter 2. This one's a sequel to the original. We don't go into prequel territory until Chapter 3. And I don't like the chapter format of these movies because I've never read a book where you read the first 2 chapters and then the third and fourth chapter are going back in time just telling a completely different story. That's not book to me.
I think that'd be a cool book.
Why?
The next chapter
Just
is
because
like
it's the
go in and
opposite of what I said?
no. I mean, you like Lost, where you get like flashbacks that fill in like these character things. Why isn't this cool?
It's
Where you go
okay
back
to
and
like
get
go in and out, but like this, if you read this book, you'd read it, it'd be like a complete story in chapter 1. You're like, wow, that's amazing. What a long chapter. Then you get to chapter 2, continues that story. Great, that's to be expected. Chapter 3, flashback. All right, interesting. Chapter 4, more flashback. What?
well, who knows?
Well, I do. I looked it
Okay.
up.
But then the Red Door that gets us back on track.
Well, I don't know what that's about.
Well, it's Ty Simpkins is back older, so I assume it's like with the Dalton with not the Daltons. What's their name? I forget their family name. Lamberts, the Lamberts.
Oh, right. I know that because the third movie starts with the classic title card, "A few years before the Lambert haunting."
Yeah, I thought that was really good. Let me know exactly where we were a few years
I was like,
before the Lambert haunting.
bro, a few years doesn't help me. That is completely
Yeah, that is
not
bad.
helpful at all. Second of all, nobody calls it the Lambert haunting. I mean, it literally should have just said like 3 years before the first couple movies.
A few. That's at least 3 though, because 2 would be a couple. So
I know.
a few is 3.
Believe me, I thought about that.
Yeah, so at least 3.
All right. Chapter 2. Should we talk about it?
Yes, very
All
excited.
right. James Wan is back. It blew me away. This might be his worst movie ever. But
You don't like Dead Silence.
might be better than Dead Silence. But Lee Wanell.
What about Aquaman?
Oh yeah, no, that's his worst. You're right. I forgot about Aquaman.
Probably Aquaman too, to be honest.
I made a lot of Aquaman references watching these because it was annoying me how many references they were making to their other movies.
So you were just doing it as a
and
joke?
I was like, they should have just named the dog Aquaman. Like, here, Aquaman.
No, they named it. They named it
They named
Warren
it fucking
after the
Warren.
Warrens.
It pissed me off so much. Oh, fucking Conjuring. Okay. Anyway, this is the same year as Conjuring, right? They put out Conjuring and Insidious 2 the same year.
That's right.
Maybe take some more time to make a movie.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
but he was thinking like, oh, Spielberg, he did Jurassic and Schindler. Maybe I could do it here with The Conjuring and Insidious 2.
The Conjuring is James Wan's Schindler's List.
No, I'd say The Conjuring
Insidious
was Jurassic
2.
Park. Insidious 2 is Schindler's List.
What? That doesn't make sense.
I know. I just thought that'd be funnier than the way you said it.
I think if anything, you're looking at Conjuring being Amistad and Insidious 2 being The Lost World.
That's actually good.
Thank you, Logan.
You're welcome.
All right, so Juan and Juan now. What a team. They're back. Juan's in the chair directing. Juanel's behind the typewriter. He's also behind a pair of horn-rimmed glasses. Yeah. Specs. Is Specs the worst character in the history of horror movies?
Horror movies. Well, is Ghostbusters Afterlife a horror movie?
Who's worse, Specs or Ghost Harold Ramis?
Oh, I was gonna say podcast has got to be the worst one out of everybody.
Oh, and you say kids don't listen to podcasts. What
The kid
about
didn't write the fucking
podcasts
movie.
from Ghostbusters Afterlife?
An adult wrote that movie thinking that's a great joke.
I know.
An out of touch adult who thinks podcasts are the way to go.
Yep. You're not wrong. All right. Where was I?
Talking about the movie. I don't know.
But what was I talking about?
We're talking about his specs. They're named Specs.
Oh, right, Specs.
His glasses. I forgot.
It's not just the name now. I hate everything about Specs now.
Did you know their name was like Spectral Sightings? Did you know that?
Well, I didn't know that until I saw it on the back of their truck.
Okay. It made me like, why are they naming
They
it
also
after
had
him?
well, it's not. It's spectral. It's a word.
But that's not cool. Like, why does it have his name in the title, but not the
Yeah,
other guy's name?
but they had a vanity license plate that said Specs and Tucker. It
Okay.
said or Specs and Tucks, something like that.
I don't like them.
Well, do you love these movies otherwise?
Yes, I like the end when she's like, "You boys would look much better in a shirt and tie," because that's what they wear in the other ones.
Yeah. Yeah, she really set that up, huh?
I love that part. That's a sweet moment.
Great.
Right.
Um, all right, so it came out. I mean, we'll talk about it in a second. It came out September 13th, 2013. 2013. I guess that's a Friday the 13th, right?
Oh, really?
I mean, movies come out on Fridays.
Yeah, sometimes, but sometimes there'll be like, "What? Why did this movie come out on a Tuesday?" That's weird.
Okay,
But
but it's a
most of
horror
the time,
movie being released on a 13th. I would assume that's a Friday the 13th.
yes, I would assume you're right.
Yeah. There's a $5 million budget, and it was a huge hit. Made 161.9 million at the box
That is
office.
huge.
Number 42 for the year overall, between Oblivion and Saving Mr. Banks.
Wow.
Yeah. Nominated for 2 awards, as far as I can tell, 2 that we cover anyway. The MTV Awards. Let's hear that theme. I want my MTV.
Ooh, I like that one. Way to go, Henry.
You're gonna play Henry's version of it?
Yeah, I like his version.
I like your version. You do it.
But I like in the episode when we get to hear Henry.
I guess so.
That always
But
makes
we'll
me
hear
feel
him in a
happy.
second with the People's Choice Award theme.
Oh, it's my MTV.
Oh my god. If you had video of that, that would have set the internet on
Oh,
fire.
no, legit though. If we did, man, I could just post that. Boom, sensations
Yeah.
franchise, lighten up the world.
Yeah. I'll be like Travis Kelsey all of a sudden. On top of the world.
You could get any woman you'd want.
Yeah. I'd make 12 catches a game.
I saw a thing. I saw a graphic that was like Travis Kelsey when Taylor Swift is there, 99 yards a game, and then Travis Kelsey left to his own devices, 57 yards a game. That's pretty funny.
That's funny. Nah, he's always good though. Travis
Yeah, he's the
Kelsey.
best there is.
He is. Um, we've got Saturn, or just sorry, MTV. You did the theme. I should probably
Yeah.
say why. Rose Byrne was nominated for Best Scared as Shit Performance.
All right.
And she lost to Brad Pitt for World War Z.
Oh, whatever.
That said, Brad Pitt was definitely on the set of World War Z every day of filming.
What do you mean by that?
Can we talk about Rose Byrne's involvement with Insidious Chapter 2?
She's not there?
Was she there longer than 5 days, do you think?
Oh, okay. I mean, there's a lot going on outside of her.
There are so many shots where like Patrick Wilson and Rose Byrne are supposed to be in the same space and just are never in the same shot. And I'm like, how did they shoot this movie?
Well, I think
like
because
when Patrick Wilson and Rose Byrne hug at the end, I was like, oh wow, they got him to hug.
no, I think that's a real directing choice there. I think Wanell is doing something where you don't want to feel like these characters are too connected, right? Like they're really distant at this point in their relationship. So you don't want to see them really in the same shot so that at the end when they come back together and reconnect, it's that much more powerful. You see what I'm explaining to you about Wanell's mind? What he got into there?
Yeah.
I think
you want me to explain it to you?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. So the first movie ends with Patrick Wilson being accused of his wife of murdering Elise, right? The Linda Shay character. And so the second movie, of course, one of the earliest scenes is her being interrogated in a
That was
police
cool.
office.
I like the shot of like it's black and we zoom in and it's like we go into that cool set that they
Yeah.
have. That's cool.
I liked it too because it made it seem like it was a cool, exciting scene, but it was basically just
But that's
exposition,
what's cool,
reminding you
though.
what happened. It's
Taking
previously
something,
on Insidious, but like done in an interesting way. Yeah,
but we love Friday the 13th. That's what they do there. Previously on Friday the 13th.
I'm not. Yeah, no, I liked this scene.
Oh, you actually did. But
I
that's
wish
what he
Rose
does.
Byrne was in the whole movie.
Okay, but we get Carl. Don't you like Carl?
No,
Oh, yeah, me either.
yeah. So what we do is, it makes sense for the protagonist of this movie to be Rose Byrne, right? Like her, you can't really make Patrick Wilson the protagonist because
He's a
you
murderer.
don't really know what's going on with him, right? He may or may not be possessed. He may or may not be a murderer, that sort of thing. And so it makes complete sense to sort of sideline Patrick Wilson in this movie, make him like the possible villain of it, and have Rose Byrne be the one that's uncovering all this stuff. But because apparently we had Rose Byrne on set for 3 to 4 days, um, we like barely see her in the movie and have to invent another character whole cloth to be the protagonist of this movie. It is so fucking weird. Like Rose Byrne is like nowhere to be found in this thing.
But do you
And
think they wrote this movie thinking like she wouldn't be there, or you think that she's not in this movie because she just wasn't in the script that much?
I think they wrote around her not being able to be there.
What was she doing though?
I don't know.
Neighbors? Was Neighbors this year?
Look it up. What was 2013? Maybe she's doing an X-Men movie or something.
That's why she didn't do this, to be in like 2 shots of an X-Men movie.
Sure,
Neighbors is the
paid
next
more.
year, so I don't know.
2013. Let's see. She had just wrapped up Damages, which she was on for years. She was in a movie called The Internship, which was Google the movie, if you remember that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't. Maybe she was in England, didn't want to film in America. I can't really explain it.
I didn't think like they were doing it around her not being there.
I
thought
felt that way
was,
the entire movie.
I thought it was just weird she wasn't in the movie. I was like, why are we going this direction with the sequel? I agree with you.
The only explanation I can make is that she wasn't there. Because story-wise, it
planning.
makes no sense whatsoever.
Yeah, it could just be poor story from Lee Winnell. He didn't know what he was doing.
But it doesn't. You cannot justify it.
I know, because otherwise he's so good at writing. Why would this one be so bad? Right?
No, it's just like it doesn't make sense to have a hit movie, then make a sequel to it, take the character everyone is like invested in, completely sideline her. Okay? You don't really use the kids at all because they're still kids. All right.
Well, he goes in the further at the end, but I think that's why you don't use her, is because the further is like a whole element of this movie that she's just not connected to at all. So we have to have
the movie should be more about Patrick Wilson possibly being a murderer, so you have to like investigate it, okay? And they can't even use Elise because they killed her in the last movie. All right,
I think they're much more
flashbacks of Elise. So the movie ultimately ends up with Elise dead, Rose Byrne sidelined, and the kids not really being used much. Like the movie becomes all of a sudden, after the great first one,
it's The Shining.
Insidious Chapter 2, starring this old guy we've never fucking seen before and couldn't possibly care about, and has been retconned into Lin Shaye's history, and fucking Specs and Tucker.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. But I think that Lee Winnell he was much more interested in, I think they love Patrick Wilson. They were just like, let's just do the Patrick Wilson is a maniac story. That's what people want to see. And I think he was wrong.
I think this movie needs to have Rose Byrne in like 80% of its scenes, and it has her in about 5% of them.
I agree. I agree with that. Big mistake.
Yeah. And I would say that the my argument is don't make the movie.
Hey, made money.
If that's the idea you have, and you don't have access to Rose Byrne for longer than 4 days, just don't make Insidious 2. Nobody needs it.
We did though at the time. We were excited.
It came out the same year as The Conjuring. We can get excited about new stuff.
We were excited about both.
We don't need to make sequels every time we're excited about a movie.
But then we wouldn't be able to cover Insidious. You would have never watched it.
I would have watched it. I would have watched it years ago because I wasn't waiting for the podcast.
Come on. Be such a hater.
I'm not. It's. I mean, it's like I was looking like 2015. Insidious 3 was nominated at the Saturn Awards against It Follows, and I was thinking about It Follows. That's such a good movie, and we're still excited about it. We still love that movie. They never, you know why? They never made sequels to it. I guarantee you, I'd fucking hate It Follows right now if they made shitty It Follows 2 and 3.
Yeah. No, that's actually a good point. My problem with It Follows is sometimes they go for the scares rather than following the rules. Like sometimes the It Follows guy is just standing there to be scary. Like, oh, there he is. When like they set up, he just like he never stops coming until he gets you, and then he's like, oh, why is he just standing there? I don't know. That's a good movie though.
Sometimes he just likes to lurk around. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I mean, People's Choice Awards. I told you could play a Henry theme.
Thank you.
The people make the choice. It's up to the people to choose as they see fit. Fitbit choosing the People's Choice Awards. It's the choice awards to the people.
It was nominated for Best Horror Movie. And you might think it lost to The Conjuring or something, but it didn't. It lost
World War Z?
No. Carrie, the remake of Carrie.
What the hell? That is crazy. That's the
Yeah.
last thing I ever would have thought.
I know. I thought that was weird too. All right, talk to me about the movie.
All right. Well, first of all, 2013 list. Okay.
Oh, right. Okay, we could do that.
All right. My 10, The World's End. My number 9, Fast and Furious 6. My number 8. You don't like this movie, I feel like. About Time, but I like it a lot.
No, I don't like that movie because
All right,
only because I'm not a 14-year-old girl or my dad.
All right. I thought it was cute. It's got Rachel McAdams. So number 7, Fruitvale Station. Good movie. Number 6, Coherence, starring Nicholas Brendan. Number 5, Before Midnight. A franchise film. Number 4, 12 Years a Slave. Number 3, Her. 2, Wolf of Wall Street. 1, Prisoners.
1, Prisoners.
Love Prisoners. You don't like Prisoners?
No, it's good.
I love
It's good. It's my number 10. 10, Prisoners. 9, It Felt Like Love, which is Eliza Hittman film. 8, Before Midnight. 7, Short Term 12. 6, Fruitvale Station. 5, Computer Chess.
Oh yeah.
4, Nebraska, Alexander Payne. Number 3, Wolf of Wall Street. 2, 12 Years a Slave. 1, Her.
Yeah. You love Her.
I do.
Should make a sequel him. That'd be good.
No, it'd make me like the first one less.
I'm kidding. Don't make a sequel to Her. But if you do, him would be pretty good. I could be the voice of him. Hello, I'm him. Are you in love with me?
You sound like Lee Wanell.
Well, he's Australian.
Yeah, but when he does an American accent, he sounds like Billy Eichner.
Really?
I think so. Not so
really
much
good
in these.
Simone.
I felt that way watching Saw for the first time. I was like,
Okay.
Billy. Well, maybe I guess it wasn't the first time because Billy Eichner wouldn't have been a thing yet.
He sounds like Billy Eichner. What? Who are you talking about?
Yeah. All right. Tell me more.
About
Like,
what?
does he have a
Insidious?
car? Yeah, Insidious too.
Well, it starts out we get young Elise, young sexy Elise, but we dub
This
her
is
over
so
with old
stupid.
Elise.
This is so stupid. I felt like I was watching like X-Men 3, like when at the beginning they make like Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen look young or something. It's just like, what are we doing?
But this is a real person.
Just But it's like the reason we're doing this is because Elise has a really distinctive voice. You know what else is true about distinctive voices?
They change.
No, they're easy to do impressions of.
Oh yeah,
Just hire a young actress who can do an impression of the voice.
yeah. Did they think this girl looked so much like her, but the voice was so bad that they?
I don't think she looked that much like her.
I thought she had like an old, like she looked like she could have been born a long time ago. Kind of.
I
vibe
think
to her.
that's because of the voice you're hearing.
Really, I don't think so. I thought the hair kind of went a long way. They gave her like a nice haircut or something.
Okay, a nice haircut
or wig, maybe. I don't know.
All right, so
it's
we meet
crazy.
her.
It's
She gets like
wild.
stabbed in a closet, right?
Yeah, something like that. She's like, yeah, she gets like cut on the wrist or something. But they're setting up later, like we see Josh like point at a closet, and then later he's pointing to like let the old him know. It's just like set up for later.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, good.
I don't know. We meet the guy Carl, but I looked up Carl, the actor. Okay. And they love this guy. He's in The Conjuring. He's in all the Conjuring movies. He's in Furious 7. He shows up again in the Insidious movies. Like, I don't know what it is with this guy, but they love Carl.
It's always interesting to me when I look up an actor who like makes no impression on me whatsoever. And then I see like the directors used doing like 17 things.
Maybe he's like their uncle or something. I didn't look that deep.
No. But he did use his wife again in Insidious 3. She came back
No way.
as a different character. Very exciting to see her.
What was she? I didn't see it.
There was like one moment where like she's like walking through the further and she's like talking to some like spirit and she's like, "You're free now."
Yeah, that's her.
That's
Okay.
her.
Wow. That was Lee Winnell's wife or girlfriend?
That's Lee Winnell's wife, who was also the nurse in the first one, who gives her a pep talk about the kid being in a coma.
Yeah, she messed with the wrong chick. I remember.
That's right. Yeah.
And so that's pretty cool. But that was Lee's first directing movie. He was like, "All right, I'll get you back in again, babe.
Yep.
You come on." All right, but all right. So there's Carl. Do you like the can? You ever done cans on the string? You ever do that with your sister?
No, I mean, I no one's done that since like the 40s, right?
They do it in Grown Ups. I remember the little kids.
Yeah,
because
because Adam Sandler was a kid in like the 40s.
Oh, that's fun though. I like Can on the String.
Doesn't it seem that way? They should make a cartoon. Little grown-ups. You're like
They're grown-up
call it Little
babies.
grown-ups.
Grown-up
please.
babies.
Grown-up babies. This is such a good idea, by the way.
If this is a video, people would be like, "Oh, gotta contact Paramount, make this a thing."
You make an old cartoon. It's sort of like the beginning of Once Upon a Time in America, right? Where it's just like kids running around the streets of New York in like the 20s, like doing pranks on people. Like they're like the Bowery Boys or the East Side Kids or something. But it's little Adam Sandler and little Kevin James.
With like the afro, we got like the afro.
So good.
And like they Rob Schneider, like toothbrush hair.
Little Rob Schneider in there, and little David Spade like hitting on grown-ups.
Chris Rock, little Chris Rock.
Yeah, dealing with racism.
And they're sexy wives, but they're young too, like Salma Hayek
Yes.
and Maya Rudolph.
They're like the neighborhood girls. Yeah.
Yes, exactly, like the Pink Ladies or whatever it is.
Yeah, they're like spying on them over like walls and shit.
That's good. I like it.
Oh my god,
babies.
such a good idea.
I want to bring something up though. The gimmicks. James Wan and Lee Winnell, they love little gimmicks. They love like they're like, oh, this would be a good scene. So in The Conjuring, they do like the clap game. They're like, that's great.
It's not a gimmick. It's just
No, but
setting up a scary scene.
Well, I feel like that, like there it was, but then here, like they use it constantly. It's like their whole thing that they do, right?
But usually it's the best. Like the thing about it is they are good at that, and so
they're so good at it. But it's
so
like
like
their trick
when
that they do.
Yeah, but whatever works. I mean, when they're making bad movies like these, it really stands out as the best part. Like the thing where she's knocking on the wall and then she gets the text from her friend like
Exactly.
I'm not there. Like I know that, like that's great. I popped for that.
Me,
That's
me
good
too. No, I
scene.
love it. I think they're so good. I'm not bringing it up I think gimmicks makes it sound like a bad thing. It does.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I don't really mean it like that. Like I remember Annabelle Creation. There's
Set
this
pieces. I like the
Yes, yes,
yeah.
that's what they do. They're really good at crafting those. But there's this gun in Annabelle Creation, like you shoot it and a ball comes out on a string, and it's basically this can on the string trick from this movie where they'll shoot it out and then the ball like goes up to the ceiling, like the rope goes up to this, and you're like, oh, that's scary. And they do that a lot where they like set up things that are like just like normal everyday games, but then they turn them scary, which is
Yeah,
good.
well, Juan in particular is also really good at just like setting up houses and like zooming a camera around the house, like really giving you a good sense of the geography and shit. I think the Conjuring movies are like expert at that, and there's a bit of that in Insidious too, which I appreciate.
Insidious Chapter 2 or
I mean,
also?
the franchises, the first two movies anyway. Lee Wanell doesn't have the same.
All right, come on. We're not.
No, I'm not talking shit. Like Lee Wanell's made good movies. Like he's not a terrible director. I like The Invisible Woman. So what it's called?
What, the Invisible Man?
Invisible Man, right?
Who's the Invisible Woman?
Well, I
Jessica
was
Alba?
thinking. Well, I was thinking like Elizabeth Moss being in it and shit.
Well, she's like just because she was like abused by the
Yeah,
Invisible
she's
Man.
fighting the Invisible Man. I forgot.
Right.
What else he directed?
He did. What else was the thing that he did? He did. What was it? No, I'm drawing a
Upgrade.
blank.
It's like a RoboCop.
That was cool.
Yeah, that was a cool movie too. So like for me, like he did
Nothing
Insidious Chapter 3 just as like proof. Like, look, studio, I can direct. Like
This
I
was just like
understand.
Juan doing a favor for his buddy, basically.
Well, it wasn't actually. Like Juan wanted to come back for it.
What? Why did he want to do Insidious 3?
Yeah, so I read that James Wan's whole thing with Insidious was he didn't like where the Saw franchise went. And so he was like, now that I have another movie that's like sort of being made into a franchise, I want to shepherd the franchise a little bit. I want to like make sure it goes into directions I like. Ironically, the Insidious franchise gets just as dumb as Saw, but he wanted to do that.
But maybe
so
that's also
why
because he left.
That's why he comes back to direct the second one. He was going to direct the third one as well, but he got the opportunity to do Furious 7.
Yeah,
and he couldn't do both. And so Lee Wanell was like, all right, well, I've been wanting to direct. I'll this will be my shot. And he took this opportunity, and I guess it went well enough that they gave him Upgrade. And now it's what's he doing next? Like Invisible Man, like he seemed really hot after that, but that was like right before COVID.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what he has coming next. Should I look him up as a director?
I'm gonna.
Well, I was doing it right now.
Well, you can too.
Oh, a Green Hornet thing.
Looks like he's got something called Upgrade. Oh, that's a TV show. He's doing a TV show. That's different.
And then he's also doing a Green Hornet movie.
He's attached to a Green Hornet movie. And I gotta say, like, you know, that last Green Hornet movie, that was done by like Michelle Gondry, who's like a pretty good filmmaker. I don't know what chance Lee Wanell has. Yeah.
Come on. You think they'll get your cousin back? Wasn't your cousin in the Green Hornet?
Definitely not, dude.
Remember?
Yeah. My cousin Joshua Ehrenberg plays
was he young?
He's young Seth Rogen in the Green Hornet. And we were all like, oh my god, he's gonna be a star. Didn't really pan out that way, unfortunately.
Well, he's in the Green Hornet. That's cool.
He's in a bunch of stuff, but
wasn't he in Burt Wonderstone, right?
Yeah, he's in that.
Why do I even know?
That really stuck with you, man.
Yeah. I was a literal listener for a long time.
That's so funny.
All right. So we learn all about the Bride in Black. You like the Bride in Black?
Well,
so the Bride in Black,
that's just from the first movie.
Yeah, we met the Bride in Black. We didn't know much about her, but we learned that it's this guy Parker Crane who was a little boy whose mom made him be a little girl. So then when he grew up, he was like, I gotta fucking kill people as a woman. So he
At
dressed
first,
up
I
as the
thought
Bride
this
of
was
Black.
like it was gonna be like anti-trans. Like the dude was trans, so he's also obviously a crazy person who's gonna kill people. But then, yeah, we learned all that shit about his mom. Like, your name is Priscilla, or whatever she says.
I don't
What
think it was
was the
that.
name she gave him?
I think that was just a new movie coming out. Priscilla, I think she said your name is I don't know what she said.
Your name is Penelope.
Was it Penelope? That sounds kind of right.
I don't know.
That might be
But
it.
I mean, that was some creepy shit. They have to watch that at the end. I always hate in I have trouble with supernatural shit, as you know. And I always hate stuff when there's like a group of people that like are seeing into somebody's memories and they're like watching a memory play out.
What's your problem with that?
always-
Like it's not real.
It's just stupid because that's how memories go. Like when you have a memory of something, you're not seeing it in your head as a scene.
You're not. Parker Crane might be.
Parker created his memories like
Everybody
they have
sees it
all like the
differently.
original dialogue and shit.
I think so. He's like, "Ooh,
Mhm.
great acting choice there, mom. That was good."
It was. I like the
Um,
way she turned suddenly to spook me out.
but
Um,
yeah, that stuff is all pretty scary, I guess, right?
it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. The other good set piece in Insidious 2 is young Barbara Hershey when she's on the elevator with that dude.
Oh, from that movie that you like, right?
What?
She's the star of that movie that I watched. That was like a horror movie.
What are you talking about?
The Devil in the House. I don't know what the name of it is. Oh my god, I'm gonna have to look her up. You know what I'm talking about?
No, someone from the young Barbara Hershey character. It was like in
Yes.
something I like.
Yes. Her name is Jocelyn Donahue
Oh,
from the
House of
House
the
of the
Devil.
Devil.
Oh, she's the main girl from the fucking House of the Devil.
Yes.
Holy shit! No, I didn't connect that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's cool. Cool to see her. And yeah, but she's on the elevator and then she gets off and she's like, "Man, I just saw that dude on the elevator." And she's like, "That dude's been dead since yesterday." And she's like,
Yeah. I remember that scared me the first time I saw it too.
it is kind of scary. It's stupid. But it's like it's scary in like an old fashioned kind of way.
I feel like James Wan and Lee Winnell, they're just like know the things that they have to put in movies. They're just like, oh, this is like
Yeah.
a thing that's been in a movie that should have to go in a movie. There we go. It's
Totally.
gonna go right here. So they do
Yeah,
it.
they're real students of the horror genre. I think.
Absolutely. Which
They
is
like-
I think why
they-
I like them.
Yeah, I think they really like get what's actually scary.
But yeah, like I agreed 2 and 3 didn't live up to maybe what I had in my mind they were. But I just like I like watching them. I'm just like, ooh, that's just like a thing they've always wanted to do, and now they're doing it. I like it. It gets me going, kind of. It's fun.
Yeah, I feel that way about their movies in general, but I 2 and 3, I would just rather see them goofing around and having fun with like new shit. Or like The Conjuring is a little bit their playground, right? Like they can do it there. I don't Insidious to me doesn't really work as a
But the
franchise.
Further is such a fun realm to like play with.
Yeah, it is, but there's no through line here. Like I guess it's a lease, right? But you killed her in the first movie. That was probably a mistake.
Well, no, because she's in this movie. I thought it was weird actually. They kind of just like run into her at one point. There's like, oh, Elise, that's crazy that you're here. It was like that felt kind of lazy.
The
But
billing I thought was so crazy in this movie. Like it was first build Patrick Wilson. That makes sense, right?
mhm.
Second build Rose Byrne. And I'm like, that makes sense in theory, but she's barely in the fucking thing.
I'm fine with that. Who would be second? Lee Winnell.
Yeah, maybe.
That's crazy.
But they weren't. They were like fifth or sixth or something. It was like third build the kid, and it's like he's not really in it much.
Yeah.
And then it was like I want to say like fourth and fifth build maybe were Lee Winnell and them, and it's like they don't show up in the movie until like an hour in.
But how would you build? Yeah, you're right. Like
And
Patrick
it's like
Wilson's
who's
clearly
even
one.
in this movie?
Yeah, but then who, like everyone else, I feel like is split like 20% screen time.
I know that, and so it ends up being that the star of the movie is this random new character.
I don't know. You think really he's the star of the movie?
Kind of.
He is in it a lot.
Yeah.
Carl.
He's got fun boggle powers.
Oh yeah, I forgot all about his dice. Yeah, and he shows up. He has a scene with Patrick Wilson. He's like, "What's behind your hand?" He's like, "Why don't you use your dice?"
Knife.
It's like that's kind of a fun scene. I like that part. They fight.
It's dumb.
It's dumb, but it's fun. I like it. I like Patrick Wilson's like I feel like he is trying to do The Shining. He's just like I'm Jack Nicholson. I'm crazy, and it's funny. I like it.
Well, I do like the thing. You recall last week I was saying like, has he been possessed since he was a kid or whatever?
Right.
And clearly he hasn't, because this movie sets up the rule that like the body starts to almost instantly to deteriorate once the demon's possessing it.
Mhm.
And so the more Patrick Wilson was deteriorating, the better his performance got, I thought.
Oh really? I was watching this. I was like, I was like, Daniel hates Patrick Wilson. I feel
I
like
don't hate Patrick Wilson. My problem with Patrick
Really?
Wilson is I find him uncharismatic.
But
I
here he
think
was like
his
going for
acting
it
is
more.
fine, but he's such just like Dullsville, but in this one he really is like a little over the top, and I've never seen that from Patrick Wilson before, so I was into it.
Yeah, and I think the makeup they put on him is pretty good. They make him
Yeah, it
really
works.
pale throughout the whole movie.
Yeah.
And I he has like really. It's like kind of funny sometimes. They're like, "Are you okay?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm fine." And it's like clearly this guy is like about to kill every person he meets.
Yeah,
But yeah, that's my favorite part. He might be my MVP, Patrick Wilson.
I think he's probably mine.
I wouldn't know who else to go with really. But all right, so yeah, so Josh he gets possessed. They go into the further. We see a lot of that red door. I don't really know what the red door is because, like the red door.
I assume that we'll learn that in Insidious Chapter 5: the Red Door.
Yeah, I was actually thinking that. I was like, the red door, is that supposed to be a mystery? Even though I've seen all the movies, am I still not supposed to know really what the red door is? I don't know, but because I thought the
think
red
it's just-
door.
To be honest, I think it's just Insidious iconography.
Yeah, I feel like every door is red. There's like, oh, a door. There's a red door.
Oh
'Cause
my
then-
god, because there's a movie called The Red Door, I'm clocking every fucking red door in these
Me
movies.
too. There's a red
And-
elevator in 3.
There's a red elevator. There's a fucking red tinted window. There's a red lamp in Barbara Hershey's house. Everything's red in these fucking movies.
Insidious 4, the red lamp. That's Insidious 5 or Insidious 6. Man, this is the 5th one coming out. So Josh, he gets possessed. They go back and they realize like he's been talking to himself or whatever. I was like, I feel like I got confused, and then I was like, well, this is kind of like the Prisoner of Azkaban type rules, and I never complain about that, so I'm just gonna go with it and say I'm not confused. So
You're right. It's the time turner.
It's basically that, like Hermione hits herself and she like reacts to hitting herself, and like that's like kind of like
By the way, Dementors scarier than anything in Insidious.
Oh, I agree with you. Especially the Dementors in Azkaban. That's the scariest version of the Dementors, I think. They get silly after that. But
I agree.
So all that's fun. Elise, she murders Mrs. Crane with like a chair or something, like a brick or something. She beat her to death. That was wild. Didn't remember that happening.
Oh, that's another thing. There's so much Barbara Hershey in the second one. And I think that's because of the lack of Rose Byrne.
Yeah, I never thought about it. Like if that was a Rose Byrne thing, like she couldn't be there. I kind of just thought that it was poor planning on the writing.
It makes no sense for them to decide, like, okay, for this second one, let's really jack up the presence of Rose Byrne and introduce an old guy. Jack up the presence of Barbara Hershey.
Barbara Hershey. I called her the old woman. I'm sorry.
The old woman.
But yeah, I guess I just always thought like, oh, that's weird. I never thought about like I guess you're just thinking like it literally doesn't make sense. It can't be. Like it can't be possible that he made that mistake. And I just always thought it was that mistake. I don't know. But anyway, what else happens at the end? Dalton goes in, right? He's like, I'll go save Dad. So they let Dalton go in the further, and he's like, come on.
I liked that. I thought the kid acquitted himself nicely. You could see why he got further work.
Oh, further. Yeah. No, he is great. Ty Simpkins is great.
I'll tell you, him being in this movie is further work.
It is, yeah. By the way, someone who doesn't deserve further work, Foster. What are you doing, Foster? Well, you're still
The
not doing
fucking
anything.
worst. I feel like where'd the baby disappear to in like the second half of this movie too?
Well, Rose Byrne disappeared, so obviously the baby disappeared.
But like
Baby is with Rose
at
Byrne.
the end, like in the shit in the basement with like Rose Byrne freaking
That's
out.
true.
Like, where's the baby?
With mom. Oh no, mom's with
The mom's there. I noticed because the mom's the one that grabs the knife from Patrick Wilson, and I'm like, oh, they couldn't get Rose Byrne for that shot.
Oh, that's hilarious. No, I didn't. I guess I didn't think about the baby, but you're right. The baby disappeared. I do think it's very scary. I don't have a baby, but I assume like walking in your room and finding your baby on the floor would be very
That's
scary.
so spooky. Yeah,
That was good. I like that part.
I liked that part too.
So all right, at the end, they like Dalton goes in, saves the day or whatever. And then we go Specs and Tucker show up at a house, right? They knock on the door and a family opens the door. And who's in this family, D-Train?
Oh my God, it's Wednesday, Adam. I lost my mind. Yeah, obviously it's little baby Jenna Ortega.
Yeah, and I haven't seen this movie since I've known about Jenna Ortega, but I've seen like clips. People be like, "Oh, Jenna Ortega from Insidious 3, Insidious 2. This is crazy." So this is my first time watching, and we got to this part, and I forgot, and then she showed up. I was like, "Oh shit, it's the Jenna Ortega part." It was so cool, and I forgot. Like we talked about Dermot Mulroney last that he was going to be in Insidious 3, but here's our second Scream 6 actor, Jenna Ortega.
It's true. You know what else is wild about Dermot Mulroney in Insidious 3?
What's that?
His daughter's Quinn.
Yes, I was going to bring that up.
Like Scream 6.
Yeah, I didn't know if you'd remember that or not. But that was crazy to me. I forgot that.
Yeah, that was weird, man.
It was weird. But I want to bring something up. Jenna Ortega, I looked her up. I was thinking, I don't know Jenna Ortega's like early stuff. Like I feel like You was the first time I saw Jenna Ortega. But I looked her up and she was in this same year, Iron Man 3 with Ty Simpkins. So Ty Simpkins and Jenna Ortega hung out a lot this year. I
wonder
cool
if he got in there first, man.
I'm gonna tell you something, Daniel. I noticed that she was in Iron Man 3, and I was like, I thought about texting Tim and saying, I'm going to bring something up to Daniel. I guarantee Daniel talks about these two kids fucking, but I didn't text him that. But I wanted to like call my shot so that he would know, like, I knew you would do it. But I didn't do it.
It's so funny.
But I knew it would happen. So there you go. I don't know
God
if he
damn
got
it.
in there first or whatever you said. I don't know. But so there you go. I thought that was pretty cool. But go watch Iron Man 3. See if you can find Jenna Ortega. I never knew that.
I mean, look, her earliest credit is 2012. So like this is like
The movie?
very early. No. The year.
Oh,
And so like Insidious 2 is super early, Ortega.
I mean, she looks like 8 years older, but she looks tiny.
No, she is like a child.
Yeah, it's crazy. But I thought she delivered a line pretty good. She's like, "Who is that behind that woman?" I was like, "Ooh."
Yeah, but what was the point of that scene?
Yeah, I don't know. You know what it felt like? I forgot how bad this. It was actually really bad. The ending here. It felt like the newest one we had, where what was the new movie that we saw? Oh, The Nun 2. The end of The Nun 2, where they get the call, Ed and Lorraine Warren, and they're like, "We'll be there," and it's like, what the hell is this? It felt like just as bad as that kind of.
We'll be there.
They remember that? That was awful.
Yeah.
And then it said Ed and Lorraine Warren will return in The Nun 3.
Yep.
That was bad. But yeah, here we go. Jenna Ortega, fun ending, fun terrible.
Wait, but so the reason they did this ending, I assume, is because they had like a spooky ending at the end of the first one, and they're like, that could be a.
But that was the worst part of the first
franchise.
one. I hate that ending.
I like the ending.
Which
of
is
the
like,
first one. Yeah, I like that. So they wanted an ending like that, but this movie actually wraps up the storyline of the first one, so there's nowhere to go with it. So they use this almost like as an epilogue, which is also a prologue to a potential sequel. But then what's even crazier about it is they went ahead and made like 2 more movies that are both prequels. So we never come back to this.
Maybe this is the fifth one. They're setting up the red door here.
I would think you'd need Jenna Ortega back.
What if Jenna Ortega opens the door and she's like pretending to be like 8 years old again? Like we're just supposed to pretend like this is like no time passed and this is the start of the fifth movie.
What if they got like a new kid actress who looks kind of like Jenna Ortega and they had adult Jenna Ortega dub the voice?
Oh my god, Daniel, that's what they should do. That's incredible. But it wouldn't even make sense because they're like dubbing her to be older when she was a child, which is just like doing it for the bit at that point. I love that.
Oh, so good.
I'm gonna go. I'll go 2.
Yeah, me too.
I want to go 3, but I can't do it. My MVP is gonna be Patrick Wilson.
I mean, I was at a 3 for maybe the first half.
That's good. And,
Yeah,
and then she
but-
disappeared from Roseburn disappeared, and you're like,
Yeah,
"What's going
kinda.
on? What happened?"
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go 2 overall, but yeah, the MVP. Who's yours?
I went Patrick Wilson.
Yeah, I like that choice, man.
Is it your favorite performance of his?
no, probably the
Little
little
Children?
children. Yeah,
You
but
go him too.
but I will go him as well. Yeah,
LVP, do we go Carl or we go Foster? Foster doesn't contribute. Carl sort of seals the show. What's worse?
That's why I'm going with Carl. Carl is an unwelcome presence, fucking dominating this movie.
He's more unwelcome than the ghost, in my opinion.
I agree.
I go Carl too.
And Foster's just sort of there, you know. He's at least got the string thing. That's all right.
But he brings up the Dalton, like, Dalton, let's do the cans on the string, and Dalton's like,
Yeah.
"Fuck, I hate the fucking cans on the string." He this is Foster, like, you loser. I hate that. Come on.
FYI, cans on a string, totally something that the baby grown-ups would do.
Wasn't that what sparked the whole conversation?
Oh, it wasn't.
That's why we talked about the cans on the string.
Never mind.
So there we go. Insidious 2.
Yeah, chapter 2.
Oh,
To
sorry,
you.
chapter 2.
Yeah. Now let's talk about Insidious chapter 3. This has a thing, right?
What do you mean?
What's
Like a
the
subtitle?
full title?
It's just Insidious chapter 3.
It's just Insidious chapter 3?
And then
Okay.
the last key.
Oh,
is
right. The next one's
one.
the last key and then the red door. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So just Insidious chapter 3. This comes out 2 years later, less than 2 years later, really 1.5 years. June 5th, 2015 is the release date. Lee Whannell's writing and directing now. They gave him a much bigger budget, $11 million, which is more than double what the second one had.
That's actually crazy because this guy never directed a movie before.
Yeah, but they trust him at this point, you know. Blum.
Why though? James Wan on the second movie got $5 million and he's made like 6 movies at that point.
But Blumhouse is the one producing these, man. Like Jason Blum has worked with Lee Whannell at this point for over 10 years.
In a writing capacity, and he's like acted in a few of his movies.
But it's like, come on, man. It's an established franchise. The first 2 movies made over $150 million at the box office. Like, you could give this new guy. I understand why they did it. It doesn't strike me as weird.
All right, that's fair.
To be honest, I don't think they should have. Like, keep the budget down. You don't need to be spending that much on these movies because ultimately the box office of this one's 113, which is well below what the last one made.
Yeah, that's true. But by the way, we didn't talk about like in the did you like in the last movie learning that from the first movie when Patrick Wilson goes down to like the alarm is actually him and the further? Did you like all that stuff?
It was cute, yeah.
Cute, you'd say like a fun gimmick, you think, kind of.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is a gimmick.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
All right. Number 57 at the box office between Jake Gyllenhaal and Southpaw and the Poltergeist remake, which we covered on this podcast.
Do they give that best movie like the Carrie remake? That'd be just as crazy.
Bro, it's even crazier this year.
What?
Let me tell you. All right, Saturn Awards.
Saturn is between Uranus and Neptune. Saturn, whoa!
old sci-fi films.
Nominated Insidious 3 for Best Horror Movie, which, by the way, this is the first one that was nominated for that.
Okay, that's weird.
And it lost to Crimson Peak.
Yeah, the Del Toro thing.
Yeah. And the People's Choice Awards, of course, nominated for Best Thriller. And it lost to Taken 3.
What?
Yeah,
That's wild.
I know. I thought that was crazy.
Nobody even saw Taken 3.
I'd forgotten there was a Taken 3.
Oh no, I know about it. I think Taken 3 might be the one. There's like a famous scene where Liam Neeson jumps over a fence and there's like 250 cuts during the fence jump.
250.
And I think that this might be that movie. It's either 2 or 3.
Okay.
But I kind of understand why this was the first one nominated for like best horror movie or whatever you said. I do think this is the scariest one of the first 3. Some good scares in this one.
Yeah, but the first one.
The first one has the best scare, like the tiptoe through the window. Like that's the best part in any of these. But there's some good stuff here, I think.
Interesting. Okay.
You don't think so?
I don't know. I mean, let's talk about it. So it's a few years before the Lambert haunting. What's the first thing we see in this one?
I think we see the girl Quinn go to Elise's house, right? Ask
Yeah,
for help.
yeah, Quinn, and she is very much like the lead of this movie, isn't she?
Absolutely.
Stephanie Scott.
Can I ask you to read the first 4 words of her IMDb profile?
Fuck you. Nurturing an impressive body of work. Encompasses film and television.
I thought
Yeah.
that was so funny when I noticed that.
Yeah, that's funny. She's
I like her, though.
evidently in an upcoming. Oh, I don't know, or maybe something that came and went. Well, anyway, do you know her from anything though?
Nope, but you saw Beautiful Boy, which I
Yeah,
see she's in.
I've seen a ton of shit she's been in, dude, and like she's made no impression on me in anything.
No.
She made an impression on me in this. If I ever see her in anything else, I'm sure to say, "Hey, that's Quinn from Insidious 3." But you
Quinn
know,
Brenner.
look at this. I mean, she's in No Strings Attached. We covered that.
What? Who's
Yeah,
she
we
there?
talked about that on the Patreon, patreon.com/franchise. And I don't know if she's but
Apparently
whatever.
she's in Frenemies, the Disney movie with Zendaya and Bella Thorne. I don't know.
It also says she played young Sarah, the main lady from Chuck, in an episode of Chuck.
What? Really?
Yes.
This is a brunette. Sarah has blonde hair.
Well, I think you could maybe make her blonde.
I guess you could do that, but I think she would look weird.
But she's such a striking actress, Logan.
I see her photo. She might be blonde.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Okay. Sarah was like, I was kind of obsessed with Sarah for a while.
Yeah,
She was like,
me too.
She was like one of my first like kind of loves, like when I was little. Like I feel like I loved Sarah.
Halfway through the second season of Chuck, I went to the New York Comic Con and there was a Chuck panel, Logan, and she was on the panel and I was in the front row. And there was there's something about it. I still say this to this day. I've only seen this happen twice where I see like a famous lady in real life and there seems to be a glow emanating from them.
Who was the other person?
The other person was Jennifer Lawrence.
You saw Jennifer Lawrence?
Yeah, I worked at Barnes and Noble when they did a signing when like the last Hunger Games book came out or something.
And she was there?
Yeah.
For the last book?
And
That's crazy.
And she wore a green dress, Logan, which
she
was
spun around and it turned onto fire.
Which was unbelievable. And days later, pictures surfaced on the internet of many nip slips in that dress from that night.
Yeah.
And since I was there that night and saw her in person in that dress, oh boy, did I spit out about that.
Like she spun around in the dress and it caught on fire.
Yeah, very
That's
good.
a Hunger Games.
I know. By the
for
way,
listeners.
I saw a trailer for the new Hunger Games movie, and I got a little bit excited. And then I
Really?
looked it up on the it was kind of a good trailer. And then I looked it up on the internet, and it said it's like 2 hours and 45 minutes or
No
something. I was
way.
like,
What the
fuck
hell?
you.
That's absurd. Are you serious? Why is it? Why
Something
is it
like that. Let me look it up.
What's
to
even the
be
point?
Hunger Games.
Songbirds and Snakes, I think it's.
Yeah, 2:45. I nailed it.
Who made that?
Francis Lawrence.
What? Was he just back?
He's back.
I had no fucking. Why are they making it that long? What's the point even? What's this about?
It's a
Coriolanus.
Yeah, it's a prequel. It's like it looks to me like the main dude, like the protagonist, is young Donald Sutherland from Hunger Games, and so
That's
I think
cool.
I think it's gonna be like a Star Wars prequel kind of vibe.
I'll
Like
be
what
honest, that sounds
corrupted this
awesome.
guy. I know, right?
That sounds so good. I'll watch it. I'm excited. It's got a Euphoria girl, right? Hunter Schafer. Yeah.
Yeah.
You like her or them? I actually don't know.
No, it's her. I think.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I she does it for me.
Yeah. That's exciting.
Anyway, that is exciting.
Well, not the runtime, but
no, the runtime is the only that puts me off, man.
Mhm.
But I'd otherwise be pumped. Let's talk about Insidious 3.
oh yeah. So she visits Elise and she's like, "My mom died."
Right.
I wrote a line down that I thought was so funny. That it was supposed to be sad, but I really laughed at it. She says. She tells her story like my mom had breast cancer and then she like traveled to her lungs or whatever, and she says like how she was talking about how lovable her mom was, and she's like the cancer wanted to be with her as much as everyone else did. I thought that was so silly.
Who wrote that?
Lee
Mark
Winnell, I
Twain?
assume Lee wrote that.
So weird. You're right.
But there we go.
All right.
Quinn is an aspiring actor, right? So
Yeah.
she goes, she's
Oh
like,
yeah, there's this whole section of the movie where I was like not really sure what the movie was gonna be.
well, it's like Saw
Like,
X, like you're just getting to know this character. It's a little like Saw X. You're just traveling with
is.
Jigsaw for a while.
It's true, yeah. Yeah. So
I
you're
like it. I think
No,
it's paced
I
pretty
was-
well.
I'm not complaining. It took me a while to like figure out what the shape of the movie was that I
Yeah,
was
it is
watching.
really different.
Yeah.
You're right. But this is scary. And since the day
The
I
waving
saw
guy?
Daniel, since the day I've seen this movie, I mean, I wouldn't say I think about it daily, but I work at a movie theater right now. But I used to work in a movie theater. Like I worked at a different movie theater before this in 2017. And when you take the trash out, like if you close the movie theater, you take the trash out at the end of the night. You walk like by them like you walk past the movie theater to get to the garbage. And there's like an alley like that kind of looks like the scene where she like gets hit by the car when she sees him. And when I worked at that movie theater, I like anytime I had to take the trash out, I would think about this scene. And it really scares me that the part like it when he's up top too, but especially when she's outside and she sees him, that's really scary.
Oh, when she sees him in the street, you mean?
Yeah, and he's waving, and then she gets hit by the car.
Yeah.
That's spooky.
That scene was like something out of Final Destination, because Final Destination would have these moments where
You
I
love when
react
people get hit by a car.
loudly. I'd go like, "Whoa!" And I do love people suddenly getting hit by cars. And but the thing in this, where like you see the waving guy, which I was already spooked by earlier in the theater,
Mhm.
and excuse me.
You
And
need oxygen take.
I do. And then so sorry.
That's okay.
I was already spooked by him in the theater.
Right, and then she sees
And
him
then
again.
she sees him again. And so I'm like, oh my God, what the fuck is this guy? And then she gets hit by the car, which like totally takes you out of the previous spook. You're just like, what the fuck? I loved it. And then later on in the movie, when it turns out that like her mom's been like watching her the whole time and shit,
Mhm.
I really wanted when they showed her in the audience watching her perform to do the waving thing.
Yeah, I didn't really understand that. Like, I expected, yeah, kind of like her mom to like her. She was seeing her mom the whole time, but it's no, like she was seeing like the scary demon, but her mom was also there, like, which is a little weird. But did you notice her? She's sitting on the curb talking to her. She has a friend. She's like, I don't know if I'm ever gonna get out of this town. I gotta nail this audition. I don't think it went well. Did you notice her friend? Did you see who that was?
I think I did at the time. Who was it?
She was, of course, in the film Lemonade Mouth, your favorite,
Oh,
your favorite
no.
Disney movie.
Oh,
That's what
no.
canceled Hey, I'm Watching Here, I think. Lemonade Mouth. Or it was very close to what it
Hey,
what
I'm
ended
watching
it.
here is still going, just different
Right.
format.
Right. Well, that's what ended my recommendations was Lemonade Mouth.
That's right.
But yeah, she's in that. She was in Wizards of Waverly Place. She was.
Is it this
she was
lady
Selena's
Elle
friend.
Keats?
No.
Who am I looking for?
Her name, like her. Are you looking at like the actor's name? Her last name is like Kyoko or something like that.
Oh, Haley Kiyoko.
Haley
Right.
Kyoko. Yeah.
Haley first appeared in national commercials for GM, OnStar, Kmart, and Slim Jim,
That's
and
cool.
became the TV spokesperson for Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
That's awesome.
What a career!
Seriously. It doesn't say nurturing a sexy body of work or whatever.
No, but I'll tell you what, she kind of is.
No, I figured you'd be into her. That's why.
Yeah, she ain't bad.
She ain't
she's
bad.
she's had a music career, I see.
Oh yeah, she was in Lemonade Mouth. I assume so.
Yeah. Oh, she was a regular on CSI Cyber. Do you remember that?
No.
Yeah, for a second there, they did a CSI show that was specifically about them solving cyber crimes. And do you want to know who the two main investigators were? This is gonna blow your mind. It's
Haley
incredible.
Kyoko. Was she one
No,
of them?
no, she wasn't one of the main ones.
Oh, who you got?
Female lead, Patricia Arquette.
Okay.
Male lead, James Vanderbeek.
I thought you were gonna say David Arquette. That would have been good. James Vanderbeek. That's crazy.
Yeah. So if you want to see a CSI show about cyber crimes starring Patricia Arquette and James Vanderbeek, one such show exists, and there were 2 seasons of it.
Okay, I was gonna say probably barely exists. I never even heard of it. Any porn, like cyber seduction, any of that type of stuff?
Well, Logan,
Porn
unfortunately,
crimes?
I've never watched a single second of it.
That's crazy. You never watched one episode?
I was never a big CSI guy. I appreciated the first one, but I never much watched beyond that.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say nobody does, but they've been on so long, people have to.
No, first of all, I have a friend who listens to the show, David Gallagher, who has watched every episode of every CSI.
Is he the Blue Bloods fan?
Yes.
So he loves all those
The
like,
very
procedural
same.
shows.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
great.
no. We bond over our mutual enjoyment of The Rookie.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Who is the rookie?
And Grey's Anatomy. The Rookie is, of course, Nathan Fillion.
But he's not a rookie anymore if like the show's been going on so long.
Yeah, they've sort of like introduced newer characters that are like the new rookies.
Also, he's not even the rookie anymore. It's like a new rookie.
Yeah, he's like becoming a vet at this point.
The vet. That's pretty cool. I
Yeah.
like
They don't want to change the title though.
that. Right. They lose the audience. They'd be like, "Where'd the rookie go?"
I mean,
The
it's like how Grey's Anatomy is still gonna be Grey's Anatomy this year, even though
Oh, yeah, she's
Ellen
gone.
Pompeo's gone.
I forgot it's named after Meredith Grey. I always
Yeah.
forget that part. Well, why is it Grey's Anatomy? What is that?
What do you mean? It's like the anatomy of her mind.
That's it.
Yeah, because it's her like narration and shit.
No, I didn't know that. I didn't know she'd do voiceover.
Yeah, she does. It's lots of VO on that show. It's like Sex and the City.
How has it lasted so long? Oh, I guess Sex and the City does that. She's good at VO, Sarah Jessica Parker.
As is Ellen Pompeo, by the way.
Really?
Excellent at it. Yeah.
I don't think I would have expected that, but Sarah Jessica SJP, she might be one of the best at VO ever. She's really good.
I
at that.
agree. She fucking nails it.
Honestly, she's amazing. All right, so she gets hit by the car. She gets like put in a wheelchair, and she breaks her legs and whatever. And then things start getting spooky. Well, we already talked about the big. Spooky part.
love. Oh, by the way, maybe MVP of the movie Hector.
Who was he?
The boy next door who has a crush on her.
But he's barely in it. Come on.
I know, but I love how he writes on her cast, and then her friends like he's been asking about you really unsubtly in school.
Yeah. So you like him because he's like kind of a creep.
I find him charming.
He just like wouldn't stop pressuring her. So you're into
She
that.
likes him. Come on.
No, she does like him. She does like him. But I feel like she only started liking him when she was in the wheelchair. It was like, well, I guess I'll talk to the guy on the other side of the wall.
Yeah.
What else is there?
Absolutely.
But yeah, we get that scene. She's like knocking, and he knocks back, and then she texts him like, "Ooh, you think I'll stop traffic?" Because that's what he writes on the cast, and he's like. And she's like, "Are you home?" And he's like, "What? I'm not even home." And you're like, "What? Oh my goodness, are you serious?" Like that's a great part. But so and then I think a lot of cool stuff in this movie. I think all the scenes like in her bedroom are actually really well done. Like the guy behind the curtain.
But I feel like it always ends in her just getting pushed out of her wheelchair.
But that's scary. If I needed a wheelchair, but somebody kept pushing me out, that would be really spooky.
It happens like 3 times though. It's like, oh, is that something spooky? Oh, yes, it is. That's spooky. And I'm on the floor.
But that is spooky. Come on, you can't move around. Another little gimmick, the little bell.
Oh yes, I liked that. When she hears the bell ring and it wakes her up, she's like, "What the fuck was that?" And then she's like, "I guess I imagined it." But then her dad shows up. Her dad shows up, Logan, and he's like, "Did you ring the bell?" And I'm like, "Oh my god, it did ring."
Wait, so you thought it was in her head?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, no, I never once thought that. I love that shot, by the way, though, because it's on. We see the bell on her little nightstand or whatever, and we see her sleeping, and then the camera goes in to where the bell is just out of frame, and then right when it does that, the bell starts ringing, and it's like, and you know immediately that that's what he's gonna do, but it's fucking awesome. That's what I mean with like. These movies aren't as good as the first movie, but I think I just like I'm so obsessed with like the filmmaking of everything that like when I get to see these people making stuff that I know that like that's that like they've always wanted to do that, and I'm like, oh yeah, that like I don't know, it really gets me excited.
No, Juan and 1L are both really great at this sort of thing, just like keeping you engaged and on your toes.
Yes.
One thing, there's one scene where it's like an overhead shot of her in bed, and you see her like turn over in bed, and you like expect something spooky to be in bed next to her.
Yeah.
But it's not. There's nothing there. And then you see her quickly turn over to the other side. You expect something to be spooky, but it's not.
Yeah.
And then it just cuts to the next scene. I'm like, that shit was spooky. They didn't even do shit.
Yeah, then they know exactly how to get in the mind of the people watching a horror movie. And they know exactly how to play with you. They're that's what they're probably masters at most, is toying with you, kind of. But what about the like we see a lot of footprints, and then we see them like under the bed, and you're like, how did that happen? And you see them like going up the wall, like out the window, and you're like, oh, that's good too. I just love like all the there's real creative. There's like put spins on everything. Big fan.
Yeah, those gooey footprints. That's one of Mulroney's best scenes in the movie, I thought, was him with that landlord.
When he's like, check and see if there's anybody up here. But like, what's up with the part where Dermot Mulroney looks out the window and notices the guy like jumped out the window? Why does she then have to check? And she's like, oh, I gotta look too. And then he grabs her. Like, what if she just never checked? Was that guy like, was the demon playing a prank on her? Like, I'm gonna make the dad look and I'll be pretending, and then she'll have to look because I know she's so curious, and then I'll get her. Like, why couldn't she just be like, okay, and then they leave? I thought that was
her
silly.
Female curiosity.
Yeah. He's known her, like he's learned enough about her to know she's so curious. That's one of her traits. She'll have to check on me. I thought that was funny. But anyway, so dad, he was like mad at Quinn originally for going to Elise. He's like, we don't gotta go see about mom, but then he gets on board with crazy stuff. So he goes to see Elise, right? And did we know this about Elise, that her husband killed himself. I feel like that was new, but like, did we know that she had a husband that died even?
I don't think we knew anything about a husband until this movie.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But what was the husband's name? Do we know?
I don't remember, dude. Aquaman.
Yeah, Aquaman is the husband, and he killed himself. And like in the further she goes, and he's just like, "You can kill yourself too, and be with me forever," and
Oh,
gives her like a was that a razor blade?
yeah, they did an okay job in this movie of like building in a little bit. Like Elise is now being set up as the main character of the franchise. Like we're gonna do all stories between this one and the first one, and she's sort of a superhero, and she's gonna save the day, and she's got her two little sidekicks with suits,
Mm-hmm.
and so I feel like in this movie they made an effort at focusing on her. Like Quinn is obviously like the equivalent of the Rose Byrne and Patrick Wilson family in the first two, but we spend more time with Elise as a main character, and we set up this whole backstory with her and make that the heart of the movie. Like we're like the big emotional climax of this film is when she sees that, like, what is it, a sweater
Yeah, Jack. Oh, it's
on her,
Jack's
his,
sweater.
yeah, on the bed, and she says like I love you too. It's like a
Mm-hmm.
real emotional moment, and then Darth Maul pops out and you're like, ah.
I'll be honest, I do kind of remember that getting to me the first time I saw this movie because I always just view Ghost as like a scary thing, but she like the sweater appeared on her bed or whatever, and she just took it as because she's so like connected with him that she sees like the sweet side of Ghost. So I was like, oh, there's like
Yeah,
this whole other side I never considered. That was nice.
well, you've never seen Ghost with Patrick Swayze,
That's true.
clearly.
I've never seen
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
but yeah, I do think this movie deals more in heavenly shit. Like the first two movies don't really deal with that aspect. It's just like demons on the
Yeah, we have that
further or
neighbor too.
whatever.
His wife dies, right?
Yeah,
That doesn't really go anywhere, but
and also like at one point, like someone says like I've been in the nice place, and then I came back here because I knew you were here. And it's like the
yeah.
nice place. That's heaven. They're talking about
Yeah, this
heaven.
one's much sweeter than the other two for sure, which I kind of like.
I'm okay with the sweetness, but I just once you bring heaven into it, I tune out a little bit.
Okay, demons and the further you're cool with, but heaven, that's too
Yeah, because
unrealistic.
that's like bullshit supernatural. No, I think like too if you're gonna go unrealistic, make it silly and fun. Like I mean, you're right. I just have a thing about it.
But this is like movie unrealistic. Heaven is like just like real. It's like too real world unrealistic. Like it's like offends you or whatever.
I just think like don't bring religion into it.
Yeah, keep religion out of my ghost movies, guys. Come on, what are we
Yeah,
doing?
kinda.
That's kind of crazy. Keep religion out of my possession films. Come on, get it out of here. All that religion in my demon stories. All right.
No, I mean you're right, and maybe that's why I just don't really love possession and demon stories.
Yeah, I guess you're much more of the fan of like the slasher or like the psychological stuff than you are like demons
Yeah,
and ghosts. That me too actually. Yeah. All right, so we at the end they save the day, whatever, and then they create. Elise joins their crew, Spectral Sightings, and she says, "Guys, you got to wear a suit and tie." But like, I hate the ending. Like they did the same thing where it's like they got to add a spooky ending, and we get the Darth
yeah,
Maul guy again.
yeah.
So dumb,
It is dumb.
but whatever. I kind of want to go three. I kind of
You're
think this
gonna
is
go
better than two.
three. I agree that it's better than two, but I'm gonna go two.
That's fair. I did like the Quinn character. I thought they like the first 20, 25, however long that is really good. I like getting to know her. Maybe it's because she's cute. I don't know. She has a sexy body or whatever it said. But maybe I should edit the whole bit out about her sexy body.
No, I like it.
But no, I really like her. I don't think is Dermot Mulroney a good actor?
Is who a good actor?
Dermot Mulroney.
Yes.
Really? I think I've never seen him and been like, "Ooh, Dermot, that's a good performance." Like I'm pretty charmed by him all the time. Like he's a nice presence, but like as an actor.
Have you ever seen the film
The wedding
About
one?
Schmidt?
No,
He's great in About Schmidt.
I didn't even know he was in that movie.
He's great. Have you ever seen him in Living in Oblivion?
Nope. All right, so I'll
He's
check those two out and get back to you.
that. Okay. Have you ever seen him in Lovely and Amazing?
No, I haven't.
All right.
It should be Lovely and a Corning. Am I right?
What?
Maze can be another word for corn.
Oh, right.
Lovely and a Corning, I said.
You're so dumb. I like it though. Yeah, Maze.
Oh man. Yeah,
You got that text I sent you?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
I found something on the internet advertising a maze.
Yeah, we got to go to the maze, guys. All right, so I go 3, you go 2. My MVP, I'm gonna go with Quinn.
Wow, you really thought she was cute, huh?
I liked her. Yeah.
Give me a second. Let me look at the cast.
All right.
I don't
We
have
got Dermot. What about her brother? She had a little brother. You like him?
I did like when he was like, "What's up, Hector?" Waiting for. Just happened to leave your home at the same time Quinn came to the hall. You little pervert.
Yeah, that was okay.
I liked that moment. So thumbs up to him.
I feel like he's the guy who was like, I know about these spectral sightings guys online. He like recruits those guys.
You're right.
He kind of connects Elise and the spectral sightings. If not for the little brother, they would have never met each other.
Good call, bro.
That's actually kind of great. Maybe MVP him.
You know who I'm going to give MVP?
Who?
This might be a little weird. I thought the dude who played the old black guy.
MVP?
Yes.
That's crazy. No. I thought he was okay, but it was clearly like a guy they hired to read some lines.
No, I disagree. I thought his monologue when his wife died was really poignant.
No, I think he was better there than he was at the beginning scene where they're like establishing these people. That scene I didn't like, but you're right. I think when she's dead, he has that scene. He's pretty good.
Yeah. His name is Jarris Poindexter.
Jarris Poindexter? That's a great name.
I agree.
So he's your MVP?
He's my MVP.
That's wild. All right. LVP. You know who I liked in this one? I liked what's his name? Not Specs, but the other guy.
Tucker.
I like Tucker.
Oh, he had a mohawk in this one.
Yeah, he did have a mohawk.
I thought he looked like fucking Sheamus in that Ninja Turtles movie.
That's a good call. And like the beard was like, it was like a Mr. T kind of beard. It like went over his ear. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It
yeah,
like went
yeah.
up and like
You're
over.
right.
It was like, it was
we'll be talking about Mr. T on patreon.com/the franchise.
Can I ask you a question? Maybe I should save it. We're doing that tomorrow. Well, I'll save it. But all right, so my LV, I wrote Jackson, the little brother, or Jack, whatever his name is.
Oh, that for LVP?
Oh, his name is Alex. His name's not even Jack. But yeah, I didn't know who else to go. I like everybody. Dermot?
No, I can't give Dermot LVP.
Is Carl in this one? Maybe go Carl again. Yeah, Carl.
Carl's in it.
Yeah, I'll go Carl.
Can I give it to Specs?
What, really? He's acting
right.
and directing. Come on.
Fine, I'll go Carl. I'll throw you a bone.
All right. Were you not watching this one? Like, like he set up the shot and now he's there. He's doing a great job. I was watching it like for the first time out. I was sort of judging him on every aspect.
I didn't really think about it.
I did constantly with Lee. You say Wanell? I feel like earlier
Yeah.
you said Juan and Juanel.
Yeah.
Okay.
What is it supposed to be?
I've always just said Juanel, Lee Juanel.
But there's that H. Makes
Yeah,
me want to
you're
stretch it out a little bit.
kind of questioning it, Juanel, but that's so much more effort. I don't know. But all right, so there we go. In Insidious, chapter 2 and chapter 3.
Yeah, we'll be back next week with Insidious Chapter 4, The Last Key.
I think it's just Insidious the last key.
Oh, really? And
think so.
Insidious the Red Door. And then stay tuned on patreon.com/the franchise. Big week. We got the debut of our new show, The Sunday Night Wars, recounting the history of wrestling pay-per-views. And episode 1 is WrestleMania 1985 versus Starrcade 1985. And you'll be loving that. I've watched both shows already,
Wow.
taking notes, and I'm loving life.
Halfway through Starrcade.
I wish the show was daily.
What? That's crazy.
And
guess who's number 1 build on the Red Door, by the way?
Patty Will.
Ty Simpkins.
Wow, good for you, Ty.
I can't wait.
Well,
Looking at some of these
Patty
shots,
Wilson's
they look pretty cool.
Patrick Wilson's like his dad in real life, right?
Right.
Like he's
he raised
been
him.
his dad in like 17 different movies. So.
Yeah, he said, I'll give you a little raise on this movie, but then the rest of your life is up to you, son.
That's right.
You gotta take it from here.
Yeah, this is a little boost. Also on patreon.com/the franchise this week, you'll be getting some lovely episodes of Buffy's Angels.
Yeah.
Where we talk about this year's girl and the prodigal.
Somnambulist, right?
No, the
okay.
prodigal.
Okay.
And then hey, I'm watching here. We'll tell you all about the shit we watched this week. I watched Fall of the House of Usher.
Oh wow.
All right. So how about that? That's
He's performing at the Super Bowl halftime show.
I know. Yeah, man.
That'll be a rise of the House of Usher when he shows back up there. We'll all be in attendance. I should watch that Fall of the House of Usher. How long is it? See,
8
I love
episodes.
Mike Flanagan, but I didn't even watch that last show that he did. I don't know why.
It was bad.
Really? What? People like that one.
The Midnight Club?
I thought there was one after that.
No.
Midnight. Wait, what's Midnight Club? I thought Midnight Mass was one of them.
Midnight Mass was before Midnight
That's good,
Club. That Midnight Mass is great. Midnight Club sucks.
Oh, wow. Oh, I didn't know about that. Okay. But this was his last one on Netflix. I think he's like free to do whatever he wants now. Or he's like up for contracts or
I
something.
mean, Netflix been good to him, man.
Yeah, but now he can do something else. Make a Doctor Sleep too.
Oh, great! That's the direction I want him to go.
No, but like make her like a.
We'll talk
movie.
about it on the Patreon show. Come on, we
Okay.
can't advertise the Patreon show and then do the segment.
I think
here.
next year. I think next year we should do The Shining and Doctor Sleep.
Okay.
That'll be fun.
Yeah. I mean,
Is that the best movie that we have yet to cover? The Shining.
That's part of a franchise?
I think it's possible.
Yeah, it's certainly possible.
I don't know for sure. Anyway. All right, what else we got? Anything else?
No.
Okay. I had a great time, guys. Hopefully. Oh, did we rank 2015?
No, do you want to do that? And then
Yeah, let's do that. I got my list right here. I just looked at
Okay.
All right, my number 10, The End of the Tour. Pretty good movie about a writer. I don't know why I watched that one, but oh well. Number 9, The Lobster. Great film. Number 8, Creed. Number 7, Furious 7, directed by James Wan. Number 6, The Witch. This is probably the best horror movie this year, The Witch. Number 5, Ex Machina. Number 4, Sicario. Number 3, your favorite film, The Hateful Eight. Number 2, Inside Out. Number 1, Carol.
Yeah, I knew you'd have Carol at number 1. It's my number 11, just right off the list. And Inside Out's my number 12.
Wow,
interestingly,
that's my 1 and 2, and that's your 11 and 12.
Yeah. But here's my list: number 10, Steve Jobs. Number 9, Dope. Number 8, Tangerine. Number 7, what?
That's I saw Tangerine. I liked it. That's crazy though.
Oh,
I have it at 20.
Oh, Se- well, I have The Witch at 20.
Wow. This
Yeah.
must be a good year.
7 is Going Clear. 6 is The End of the Tour.
Mm.
5 is Creed. 4 is The Diary of a Teenage Girl.
They could say Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
No. 3 is Room. 2
Oh, yeah.
is Anomalisa. And 1 is The Hateful Eight.
Yeah, the Hateful Eight. That's your favorite Tarantino, right?
I think on this latest rewatch of all the Tarantinos, I amended it.
Really? What do you mean? What was your number
I
one?
think Inglourious Bastards is it.
That's really like the only one I could see you doing.
Yeah.
But I think Hateful Eight, that was like one of my favorite sort of like opinions that you have, because I've never heard anybody else say that Hateful Eight's their favorite Tarantino movie. Like, even when I hear people say they really like it, I feel like it's rare. I feel like people like it, but not really.
It's my number 2, probably.
I think my number 2 is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Wow. Yeah, that's great too. All right, gang. We'll see you. We'll see you on the old Patreon if you got $5 to spare. Have a good goddamn weekend, and beware of ghouls and slime.
And the Red Door. Creep.